Hello, friends. So, a great question inspired by a friend. How do you know who you are and who you want to become? Well, I've got two suggestions, and then I'll dive into them just for a little bit. One, eat amazing organic food. And two, decouple your time from your income. So the first one, eating amazing organic food. Hi, Brandy. Hi, Sharon. The first one, eating amazing organic food. You know, when food isn't organic and when there's pesticides and herbicides and there's genetically modified organisms, it actually gets in the way of your brain chemistry to varying degrees. So it's kind of impossible to really 100% be yourself and become yourself if your brain chemistry is being manipulated by man-made genetically modified organisms. So if you want to get your brain back, first of all, just get away from toxic GMO-laden, pesticide-driven food and get into really great organic food and eat mostly raw food, mostly. So that's the first thing. And that'll make it less likely that you'll ever be victimized by and exploited by for-profit insurance companies who have a profit motive to keep you sick for the rest of your life and managed of everything, cured of nothing. So that's another benefit to that. So the second thing, and there's Taryn, the lady who's inspired this. Nice to see you. Hi, Mariah. Hi, everyone else. So the second thing, away from the food, decouple your time from your income. Because if your time is coupled to your income, in other words, you have to keep showing up at some job or some self-employment experience where the income turns off, you're not allowed to be yourself. You can't, especially if you're a free spirit, I don't believe it's possible for a free-spirited human being to truly be fulfilled and to be themselves if they have to live underneath the thumb of somebody who can tell them what to do and they hold the power of their income over their head that they depend on. And I'm not saying this to be anti-job. If your job is optional because you decoupled your time from your income, then that's fine. But if your job isn't optional, you need that income to pay your bills, or even if you're self-employed, because most self-employed people have zero residual or passive money, and their time is coupled to their money even more so than most people with a job, it doesn't matter. If your time is coupled to your money, in other words, you have to show up at this thing, whether it's your own thing or somebody else's thing. You're not a free human being. You cannot be yourself 100%. And if you have a boss who's really cool and just doesn't care as long as the job gets done, great, you got a cool boss. But you're allowed to be who you are to a degree at the permission and the leisure of somebody else. And you're still a wage slave. You just happen to have a cool boss who lets you be maybe more of who you are at their permission, their leisure, which means it's not at your permission, it's not at your leisure. So, and what do I mean by decoupling your time? I sort of gave it away a little bit, but I'll go a little deeper because it's a tough concept for people to understand because you've never known it, they don't teach it in school, and I believe it's on purpose that they don't teach it in our public schools because they need a nation of obedient workers. So, passive and residual money. This is money that shows that keeps going into your bank account regardless of how you spend your time. So your time is decoupled. You can go on vacation, you can stay home, you can work on a charity, you can do whatever interesting project you want. It doesn't have to pay anything, or it pays poorly, or maybe you have to shell out some money from your pocket for this interesting project because you love it so much. It doesn't matter. You're covered. Your bills are covered. You can do whatever you want that costs money, and that income is going to automatically be rejuvenated. You don't have to keep showing up at this place to keep making that money. So it's passive and it's residual. Ordinary money is what 98% of the population knows, and it's the only money that 98% of the population knows. So by that standard, only about 2% of the population is really living a lifestyle where they get to be themselves, their authentic selves, and they have the freedom to discover who they really are and who they really want to become. Because no matter what, how many of us really know ourselves 100%? I'd say nobody does. So it's a process, but it's good to have that freedom to be on that process of getting to know more about ourselves and who we are and who we want to become. And the only way you can do that is, one, eat clean organic food so that the brain chemistry isn't messed with bad food. And two, decouple your time from your income, and the only income type that does that is passive and residual money. And then you have the freedom to be yourself, do what you want, discover who you are, who you want to become, because now your time is no longer chained and bound and shackled to the dollar. And you know your time is coupled to your income if you stop showing up and the money stops coming in. That's how you know. So you have to some degrees, you cannot be yourself if that's what you depend on to pay bills and eat. So who has the guts? Who has the courage? Who wants to step away from being a coward of an obedient worker that's been sold to you your whole life? It's the only thing you've ever known. It's the only thing I ever knew until a point. Hi Donna, hi Mel, hi Maureen. Up until I was about 30 years old. I'm in my 40s now. It's been a while. It's the only income type I ever knew either. But then I learned about this thing called passive and residual and how I could be myself, and I didn't have to live underneath the thumbs of other people. I could tell me what to do. I could decouple my time from my income. I could be the free spirit that I've always wanted to be. But when I learned about that, then it's like, oh my God, I have to draw a line in the sand and jump over with both feet and start focusing on that. And here's, I believe, why most people don't have it, other than the fact that they don't teach it in school, which is done on purpose because they need a nation of obedient workers. But the other reason I believe most people don't have it is because it does require an upfront time investment, and most people are not going to do it because most people are addicted to the paycheck. Well-conditioned wage slaves. 98% of the population is a well-conditioned wage slave addicted to a paycheck. They're not going to do something if they don't get an immediate result from it. Call it instant gratification, whatever you will. The powers that be did an excellent job conditioning everybody to be obedient, unquestionable workers. How sad is that? So it really does take courage and stepping away from being a coward to decouple your time from your income. And that's the honest to God truth. You learn about something that can change your life and set you to be a free human being, and then the non-cowards are going to jump over that line with both feet, not one but both feet, and they'll do whatever it takes to make that upfront time investment, to figure it out, to learn, and so that they can have this income that decouples their time from their money so they can do whatever they want with their lives. And that's how you become a free human being, to be yourself, to be your authentic self, and discover who you are and who you really want to be. I hope that makes sense. Hi Babs, nice to see you from Germany, from the United States. Hi Iris, Donna, Maureen, Tracy, Mel, Taryn, Tasha. Nice to see everyone. So that's it, that's my little rant. If you missed it, you just chimed in, missed it, but it'll be archived for you here. And by the way, if you're curious to see what I've been doing for over 10 years now to decouple my time from my income and eat clean organic food, so I can have my brain back and not have my brain chemistry messed with, just private message me. My coach, my personal coach, recently did a brilliant presentation about it all. If you want to see it, I'm happy to share her video that she made. Taryn, yes, takes a lot of courage, Taryn says. When I decided not to go back to working a 9 to 5, it felt discouraging because I wasn't seeing that instant gratification with a set weekly pay. Yep, you got it, Taryn. That's the thing that keeps people from doing it. It's that paycheck. They really did do it. When you think about it, even though their motive may not be pure, they did a great job at conditioning people to be addicted to that paycheck. So most people will never, ever, ever have the courage to step away from that nonsense and decouple their time from their income. But there are a few people, very few people, that will have the courage to step outside of that, to learn, to figure it out. Hi, Eli. If you want to know what you look, yeah. Well, thanks, Babs. You're very kind. By experiencing life organically and freely. Eli, yes, but how do you experience life organically and freely? I know you just chimed in, so when this is done, just go back into the archive and see the video. I went into it. 2 main factors. I'll be on one of those in less than a week from now. By the way, less than a week from now, I go to Las Vegas for the annual Health, Healing, and Happiness Weekend Shindig. It'll be my 3rd or my 4th one in a row, one of those 2. I'll learn a lot of cool things. Everything I learn, I'm going to share right here on Facebook. So make sure you're following. I'll be talking lots about money and health like I always do, but I love it when I get to learn from other people smarter than me in those areas, because then I get to expand and learn more, and then I get to share it with you guys. And if you want to see what I've been doing, my coach, my personally sponsored coach, just made a brilliant video about money and health and how to have more of it. If you want to see that, just ask me and I'll share it with you. She did a good job in that video. It's informative and it's also emotionally inspired. So thanks for the comments and chiming in, people. I'm gonna get going for now. I look forward to the private messages. That's the reason I do these kinds of videos, is because I love getting those private messages from people that are curious enough to ask. It's the real reason I do this kind of a live feed. For those of you that are not going to function as a bump on a log, but you're going to do something and be curious and ask. After all, that's how I got started. I was curious and I asked, and then I took action. So that's my tribe, the doers. Anything else, like when you learn stuff and you don't do anything with it, you're just intellectually masturbating all over yourself. And the world is full of very smart, talented, educated derelicts doing nothing with what they know. And that's not my tribe. I want you to get off your ass and ask and be curious about it. And I know some of you are, but there's so many people that don't, and it is so sad. So have some courage, stand up, and start being you. Bye for now, everybody. Mwah.